Success is not built in public. It's born in silence when no one is watching. Every dream that later becomes a headline begins in the quiet corners of someone's life, in those moments when no one claps, no one notices, and no one believes. The world loves the finished product, the glory, the light, but it forgets that the foundation of greatness is always laid in obscurity, in the silence of discipline, in the stillness of doubt, in the loneliness of persistence. That's where success begins to breathe. The truth is, the most powerful work you'll ever do will happen in the dark, far away from the noise, where there are no cameras, no recognition, and no guarantees that any of it will ever pay off. When no one knows your name, when you have no stage, no audience, and no followers, that's when you start building the muscle of consistency. It's in that hidden space that you learn how to show up for yourself. You wake up early not because someone told you to, but because your dream won't let you sleep. You keep pushing not because you're being watched, but because you've made a promise to your purpose. The silence becomes your training ground. Every morning that you choose to act instead of complain, every evening that you choose to work instead of waste time, you are laying bricks for something no one else can see yet. The silence is where most people quit because it feels like nothing is happening. You give your best, and it feels like your effort disappears into the void. No applause, no progress, no reward. Just you and your commitment. But that's the exact place where success is formed. The people who make it are not the ones who wait for validation. They're the ones who keep going despite not having any. They are the ones who understand that silence doesn't mean absence. It means preparation. Just because the world isn't clapping doesn't mean you're not growing. Every step you take in the dark prepares you to shine in the light. When you see someone rise to greatness, don't mistake the spotlight for the source. The spotlight only reveals what the silence built. Behind every success story, there's a season of obscurity where that person was training when others were resting, believing when others were doubting, and working when others were waiting. It's in those hidden hours that the habits are formed, the discipline is developed, and the vision becomes clear. Those who embrace the silence learn to rely on their own belief, not the applause of others. They understand that the real reward is not being seen, but becoming strong enough to deserve being seen. There will be days when silence feels heavy, when you question whether your effort matters. You'll look around and wonder why others seem to be moving faster, shining brighter, winning sooner. But don't let their noise distract you from your silence. Noise is temporary, depth is permanent. While others are chasing attention, you're building a foundation. And when the storm comes, attention will fade, but the foundation will stand. That's the difference between those who build for show and those who build for life. Silence will teach you more than success ever can. It teaches you patience, humility, and resilience. It teaches you how to stay calm when things don't go your way. It shows you that your worth is not tied to who notices you, but to how true you remain to your vision. It strengthens your character because you learn to trust your process. Even when it looks like nothing is happening, you start to realize that every quiet day of effort is a step towards something greater. Every moment of discipline adds a layer to your destiny. Every private battle won becomes public power later. Success is not an explosion, it's a slow burn. It's not born in crowds but cultivated in solitude. It grows quietly, consistently, like roots underground. You can't see them, but they are anchoring the tree that will one day stand tall. If you dig up the roots too soon, you destroy the growth. That's what happens when people rush to be seen before they are ready. The silence is not punishment. It's preparation. It's the universe testing your commitment before it trusts you with visibility. If you can stay faithful in silence, you'll be strong enough to handle the noise when it comes. Every great artist, leader, and visionary has gone through this stage. They spent years being ignored, underestimated, and unseen. But instead of complaining, they used that time to sharpen their skills, to grow their mindset, to master their craft. They understood that success is not an event, it's a habit. It's the accumulation of daily actions taken when no one is watching, the hours you spend practicing, the lessons you learn from failure, the times you keep showing up even when nothing seems to change. Those are the invisible ingredients of success. The silence gives you an advantage because it removes distractions. It allows you to focus fully on growth without the pressure of being perfect in front of others. You can experiment, fail, and learn freely. You can find your voice, your rhythm, your truth. The absence of recognition creates space for authenticity. When you finally emerge, you won't be performing for approval, you'll be expressing mastery. You won't need validation, because you'll have already proven it to yourself in the dark. People often ask for success, but run from the silence that creates it. They want the results, but not the routine. They want the applause, but not the anonymity. But it's in those quiet years that you build the kind of resilience that fame cannot give you. You learn how to lead yourself before leading others. You develop gratitude for the grind because you understand what it cost you. You become unshackable, not because life gets easier, but because you've already faced difficulty and survived it. The silence will strip you of ego and fill you with endurance. It will humble you, mold you, and build you into someone capable of carrying success with grace. Every time you feel invisible, remember that diamonds are formed in the dark. They are created under pressure, hidden for years, until one day they are revealed to the world. But the shine doesn't make the diamond valuable, the process does. In the same way, your unseen effort is what gives your success its worth. So keep working when no one's watching. Keep believing when no one's cheering. Keep building when no one's noticing. Every minute spent in silence is a seed planted for your future. One day, the world will see your shine and think it happened overnight. They won't understand that the light they see is only the reflection of years spent growing in the dark. The silence that feels empty today is the womb of your greatness, the quiet forge where your destiny is being shaped. The world sees your shine, but never your sacrifices. People will cheer for you when you win, but they will never understand what it cost you to get there. They will see the result, not the process. They will see the smile, not the sleepless nights. They will celebrate your achievements, but remain blind to the pain, the failures, and the lonely battles you fought along the way. The truth about success is that it demands a price most people aren't willing to pay. Every accomplishment has a cost, and that cost is often paid in private, long before anyone ever notices you. When you look at someone successful, what you see is only the surface, the shine, the visible outcome. What you don't see are the thousands of hours they spent working when others were relaxing, the countless times they wanted to quit but chose to keep going, the sacrifices they made in silence because their dream mattered more than their comfort. People will call it luck, But luck is just the name others give to someone else's sacrifice. You can't fake the foundation of success. It's built one decision at a time, one struggle at a time, one quiet sacrifice at a time. There comes a point in every journey where you have to choose between what's easy and what's necessary. The easy path will always look more tempting, but the necessary one is where transformation happens. The shine you see on the outside is simply the reflection of the choices made in moments of darkness. No one applauds you when you're sacrificing your sleep to work on your goals. No one notices when you're skipping comfort to chase consistency. No one sees when you're alone, questioning whether you're doing the right thing, but still refusing to give up. Those unseen moments are what create visible results. There will be times when you'll have to sacrifice friendships, habits, and even parts of yourself that no longer align with your growth. That's the price of success. You can't evolve while clinging to everything that made you comfortable. Success demands that you leave behind the version of yourself that settles, that procrastinates, that seeks validation. You must outgrow the environments that no longer challenge you. The world might call it selfish, but it's not. It's necessary, because what they call selfish, you call sacrifice. You're not abandoning people, you're answering your purpose. You're not avoiding fun, you're investing in your future. You're not missing out. You're leveling up. Sacrifice is not glamorous. It's not something you post online. It's quiet, hard, and unappreciated. It's waking up early when your body wants more rest. It's saying no to instant pleasure so you can earn long-term peace. It's staying consistent even when motivation disappears. Every sacrifice feels heavy in the moment, but it builds strength you'll later rely on when life tests you again. The world may not see it, but those sacrifices are sculpting you into someone unbreakable. The discipline you develop in silence becomes your armor in public. People will admire your shine, but they won't realize it's made of broken pieces held together by perseverance. They'll see confidence, but won't see the self-doubt you fought through. They'll see success, but won't know how many failures you had to face first. They'll see the finished product, but not the process that nearly crushed you. Every smile hides a story, and every victory carries invisible scars. The shine is beautiful, but it's the sacrifice that gives it meaning. Without struggle, there is no substance. Without loss, there is no lesson. Without pain, there is no power. When you walk through your journey, understand that most people won't clap for your sacrifices. They won't understand your decisions. They'll tell you to slow down, to relax, to enjoy life. But those same people will be the first to celebrate you when you finally make it. They'll say they always believed in you, even though they never saw your struggle. That's why you must stop chasing recognition and start embracing reality. Success will never come with applause in the beginning. The only validation you need is from the person in the mirror, the one who knows what you've been through and still chooses to keep going. Every sacrifice shapes you. Every hard choice you make builds another layer of strength. It teaches you how to depend on yourself, how to trust your instincts, how to endure. You learn that growth and comfort cannot coexist. You start realizing that the most powerful people in the world are not those with the loudest voices, but those who endured the most in silence. You begin to see that real success is not measured by money, fame, or titles. It's measured by how much of yourself you were willing to give up to become who you were meant to be. There will be seasons where your sacrifices seem invisible. You'll wonder if it's worth it, if anyone will ever notice. You'll give everything, and it will feel like nothing is changing. But those are the seasons that separate the dreamers from the doers. The dreamers give up when the world doesn't watch. The doers keep building in the dark. They understand that growth is not visible while it's happening. It's only seen once the results start to show. And by the time the world sees your shine, your sacrifices will already be behind you, buried beneath layers of commitment, pain, and perseverance. The world doesn't reward effort. It rewards results. That's why people only see the shine. They only show up when success is visible. But you can't let that discourage you. You have to understand that your sacrifices are not meant to be seen. They're meant to shape you. The process will break you down, but it will also build you up. It will teach you humility. It will show you who your real friends are. It will refine your vision until all that's left is purpose. Every sacrifice you make in silence prepares you for the noise that success brings. You must be willing to go through what others won't so you can live how others can't. You must be willing to say no when others say yes. You must be willing to delay pleasure, to endure discomfort, to face rejection without losing faith. The people who shine the brightest are the ones who sacrificed the most. They learn to be okay with being misunderstood. They learn to find peace in the process. They learned that sacrifice is not suffering, it's transformation. Because while the world sees your shine, you'll always know it's not the light that defines you, but the fire you walked through to create it. Every success story is written with invisible ink, called struggle. The stories you hear, the achievements you admire, the victories you celebrate, all of them were born from moments that no one saw. Every shining success carries a hidden history, one written not in comfort, but in challenge, not in ease, but in effort, not in glory, but in grit. The world reads the final chapter of success, but skips the pages filled with pain, doubt, and failure. Behind every person who has made it, there's a version of them who almost gave up, who cried in silence, who failed more times than they can count, but kept going because something inside refused to quit. Struggle is the ink that makes your story real. Without it, your success has no texture, no meaning, no authenticity. It's the struggle that transforms dreams into reality, ideas into achievements, and potential into power. Everyone wants success, but few are willing to go through what success requires. The path is not smooth. It's filled with uncertainty, obstacles, and lessons that will test your patience, your belief, and your endurance. It's not the opportunities that create your success. It's the struggles that refine you enough to deserve them. Every person who ever built something meaningful had to fight through seasons of struggle. They faced rejection. They heard no after no. They saw failure after failure. But struggle has a purpose. It's not there to break you. It's there to build you. It teaches you how to adapt, how to rise, how to trust your process, even when it looks like nothing is working. It teaches you that progress doesn't always look like movement. And growth doesn't always feel good. When you struggle, you're being prepared for strength. When life challenges you, it's stretching you for the capacity your success will require later. The truth is, no one becomes great by avoiding struggle. The ones who win are the ones who refuse to run from it. They face it head on because they know that struggle is a signal that growth is happening. Every time you choose to endure rather than escape, you add another paragraph to your story. Every time you rise after falling, you write another sentence of victory that no one can erase. People may not see your process, but they will feel your persistence. They may not read your pain, but they will witness your power. That's how the invisible ink of struggle leaves its mark. When you're in the middle of the struggle, it rarely feels like it's working in your favor. It feels messy, exhausting, and endless. You wonder why it's happening to you, why it's so hard, why it feels like you're stuck. But struggle is not a sign of failure, it's a sign of formation. The pressure you feel is shaping you, molding you, preparing you for the weight of what you're asking for. The greater your calling, the greater your conditioning. Every obstacle is an opportunity in disguise, a teacher in the language of resistance. Struggle doesn't take away your strength, it reveals it. Success that comes without struggle doesn't last because it lacks depth. It's the process of fighting through difficulty that builds the foundation for greatness. Every rejection strengthens your resolve. Every setback teaches you something new. Every delay develops your patience. The reason you respect your own victories more than anyone else's is because you know what it cost you to get there. You know the sacrifices, the sleepless nights, the heartbreaks, and the battles behind the scenes. The world sees your success as a destination, but you know it's a story of survival. There will be times when your struggle feels invisible, when no one believes in you, when your effort goes unnoticed. That's when you must remember that struggle isn't meant to be seen. It's meant to be survived. You don't need an audience to validate your process. You need faith to finish it. Because the ink that struggle writes with is invisible until you've finished the story. Only when you reach success will the world finally start to see what was written in those hard chapters. That's why you must keep going. Even when you don't feel progress, even when you're tired of trying, even when it feels like you're walking in circles. Every step you take in struggle is still part of your story. The most powerful people you'll ever meet are the ones who have faced the most pain and still kept moving. They understand that struggle doesn't make you weak. It proves your strength. They know that storms don't destroy strong trees. They reveal which ones have deep roots. You can't build resilience by running from difficulty. You build it by surviving it. Every challenge that tried to stop you is actually contributing to your strength. Every problem that looked like a setback is quietly shaping your character. The invisible ink of struggle doesn't fade. It becomes the foundation of your legacy. Think about the moments that changed you most. They weren't the easy ones. They were the nights when you had nothing left, but still found the will to try again. They were the days when failure humiliated you, but you chose to learn instead of surrender. Those are the moments that define you. They don't look beautiful, but they're powerful. Struggle refines your purpose, sharpens your vision, and humbles your ego. It burns away everything that's not essential, so that only your true strength remains. That's what makes your story worth reading. People will admire your success, but never fully grasp your struggle. They'll see the glory, but not the grind, the reward, but not the risk. But that's okay, because your story isn't written for them, it's written by you. The invisible ink of struggle is permanent, and though it may not be seen by others, it will always be felt in the way you move, in the way you lead, in the way you live. The confidence you carry, the wisdom you speak, the resilience you show, all of it is born from what you've endured. Your struggle gives your success its soul. Every step you take through pain, every decision you make under pressure, every tear you wipe in silence, it's all part of your story being written. When you finally reach that place of success, the ink that was once invisible will glow through every word you speak, every action you take, every achievement you earn. The struggle is not separate from the success. It is the script itself. The harder the struggle, the stronger the message. The more difficult the journey, the deeper the meaning. Every success story is written with invisible ink called struggle, and though no one else may see it, the universe remembers every word. Discipline is the hidden engine that drives every dream to reality. It is the quiet power behind every achievement, the invisible force that separates those who wish from those who win. Talent can open the door, but only discipline keeps it open. Inspiration may spark the desire, but discipline sustains the fire when the excitement fades. It is the difference between people who start strong and those who finish stronger. The world may celebrate brilliance, luck, or opportunity, but behind every person who has ever accomplished something meaningful stands a consistent commitment to doing the work, even when they didn't feel like it. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's the ability to stay loyal to what you said you would do long after the mood you said it in has disappeared. It's waking up early when your body begs for rest. It's studying when you'd rather relax. It's showing up when no one is watching. Discipline is not built in one day. It's built through daily choices, through small acts of effort that seem insignificant at the moment, but accumulate into greatness over time. Every time you choose effort over ease, focus over distraction, progress over procrastination, you are training your mind to follow through. The dreamers talk about what they want, but the disciplined create what they want. The dreamers hope, but the disciplined act. The dreamers plan, but the disciplined execute. Discipline is what turns intentions into impact. It doesn't matter how big your dreams are if your actions don't match them. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is filled with discipline. Every great athlete, artist, entrepreneur, and leader knows that success is not about what you do once. It's about what you do consistently. They repeat the basics, refine the small things, and stay committed to improvement long after others give up. Discipline requires sacrifice. It demands that you say no to things that bring temporary pleasure, so you can say yes to the things that bring lasting fulfillment. It forces you to choose purpose over comfort, growth over laziness, commitment over excuses. You'll lose friends who don't understand why you're so focused. You'll miss moments that others enjoy. You'll be misunderstood, criticized, and doubted. But discipline teaches you how to be okay with that. It gives you a sense of control over your life, a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you can depend on yourself. The person who has mastered discipline has already mastered freedom, because freedom without discipline becomes destruction. There will be days when motivation disappears, when nothing feels exciting, when progress seems invisible. That's when discipline takes over. Motivation is emotion, discipline is decision. It's what carries you when your feelings fail you. Every time you act out of discipline instead of emotion, you strengthen your ability to lead yourself. Most people quit not because they lack talent, but because they lack consistency. They wait to feel ready, to feel inspired, to feel supported. But discipline teaches you that feelings are followers, not leaders. You don't wait to feel ready, you act, and readiness follows. Discipline is a form of self-respect. It's saying to yourself, I am worthy of effort. It's honoring your goals enough to show up for them daily. It's not about being harsh on yourself. It's about being honest. If you say you want success, but your actions contradict your words, then what you have is not a dream. It's a wish. Discipline makes sure your actions align with your ambition. It transforms chaos into clarity, randomness into routine, and intention into identity. Over time, it becomes who you are, not just what you do. The disciplined person doesn't need to force effort. It becomes their nature. Discipline gives you power over time. While others waste hours waiting for the perfect moment, you create moments through consistency. It allows you to compound your effort until momentum takes over. Discipline doesn't produce results instantly, but it guarantees progress eventually. Every small act builds the foundation of something larger. The person who trains daily, reads daily, practices daily, improves daily. It's not dramatic, it's not loud, but it's unstoppable. You might not notice your progress day by day, but when you look back months or years later, you'll see how far you've come. That's the reward of discipline. It turns slow growth into lasting greatness. The challenge with discipline is that it doesn't give you applause in the beginning. It's repetitive, lonely, and often boring. It demands patience in a world addicted to instant gratification. But those who master the art of consistency become unstoppable because they are no longer driven by comfort. They are guided by purpose. Discipline creates focus, and focus creates results. It keeps you on track when distractions try to pull you away. It reminds you why you started when the journey gets hard. Every morning you choose discipline. You strengthen your future self. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build self-trust, and self-trust is the foundation of unstoppable confidence. There is nothing glamorous about discipline, but it's what makes everything else possible. Behind every successful moment you see, a performance, a launch, a victory, there are countless hours of unseen preparation. Every master was once a beginner who chose to stay consistent. Every expert you admire once stumbled through mistakes but refused to stop practicing. Discipline is the bridge between failure and mastery, between fear and courage, between potential and purpose. It teaches you that excellence is not an act but a habit. What you repeatedly do becomes who you are. The people who depend on discipline don't wait for luck because they know that preparation creates opportunity. They don't complain about the difficulty of the process because they know the process is the path. They don't measure their progress by what others see because they understand that real change happens inside first. Discipline doesn't just shape your behavior, it reshapes your identity. It rewires your brain to associate effort with achievement, pain with progress, and sacrifice with strength. Discipline is not punishment, it's empowerment. It gives you the ability to direct your energy toward what truly matters. It gives you control over your habits, your focus, your reactions. It silences excuses and amplifies action. It teaches you that greatness is not found in bursts of inspiration, but in the repetition of effort. It helps you face discomfort with grace and failure with wisdom. When you live with discipline, you no longer chase success. You attract it, because you've become the kind of person success trusts. The hidden engine that drives every dream to reality is not motivation, talent, or luck. It is the quiet, consistent force of discipline moving you forward, one deliberate step at a time.